Welcome to the Hershey Podcast. I'm Brandon.
And January.
And what are we talking about today?
We're actually going to be talking about tips for trying out veganism.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people, myself included, before I was vegan, have similar questions or concerns. So we're going to go over some of those today based off of our experience only. We are not you, whoever's listening to this. We're not you. We do not have your body. We are not your doctor. So this is just based off our experience in our journey into veganism. And if you've been interested or you're in it yourself, you may find some of these tips today helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for the help and support. But before we get started, we have a sponsor today to talk about real quick.
Doula Trainings International.
Yeah, DTI. And I just want to share today about their childbirth education training. Now, they have several online CBE, which stands for childbirth education, trainings per year. And this is to become an educator. I know that many of you listening have gone through the birthing experience yourself, and you want to be part of this women empowerment and human empowerment movement. And you may have had it on your mind on how you can do this. Or maybe some of you already are doulas, educators, and whatnot. And so this is, listen up, because this is something for you.
I'm listening.
Are you listening?
I'm all ears.
So they have several online trainings, and they're actually doing their first ever in-person training that's attached to their conference, Born Into This, in Austin. That's coming up shortly. And if you sign up for the conference, you get $100 off the training. So they take their really intensive, comprehensive training that they do online with their educators and their students, and they're compacting it into a full weekend. So you'll be ready to go after the weekend. So there's two different options there. And I just want to share this with you guys real quick. You know that I do not promote, talk about, or share any person or business or product unless I truly believe in them and believe in that person or that company or that business or whatever it is that I'm talking about. So you know that I completely believe in DTI and in their program and in their training. And they have a blog post that has testimonies from a few of their students and educators, as well as on their website, Doula Training International website, they have under offerings all about this. So you can go there. Brandon, can you put it in the info on Hershey.blog when we put up the blog post?
Yep, it will be in the show notes.
So it'll be there if you need the links. But I want to share three of my favorite things about DTI. That is that they're specialized. This is not one size fits all or only for people that have certain kind of births or only supporting people that have certain kind of births. It's inclusive. They embrace and support the variations of normal with their doula training, educator training, their everything that they do. And you know that's important to me. Another thing, the second thing, I'm going to share three. The second thing is they're inclusive and modern. So even down to their artwork and the language in their trainings, it is all inclusive, gender neutral. They just don't feel that this should be very hard, that it's simple to be inclusive. And I love that about them. And support. I think that a lot of doulas and educators and people, just birth workers in general, they go through their trainings and then they're like, now what? And one thing that has always stood out to me about DTI is that they have continued involved support for their doulas and their educators. They don't just leave you hanging. They're there for you throughout building and walking through the journey of your business. So I think that's amazing about them. So we'll put up the links that I referred to. Check them out. They are wonderful.
Well, and you can also check them out at wearedti.com.
Thank you.
That's their main website.
Yeah, bornintothis.co. And then, of course, they have their Instagrams as well. This is why I keep you around, because you remind me of those little details.
Yeah. Bornintothis.co.
Born Into This. It's really incredible. We are going to get into our veganism, plant-based diet tips for those of you that are interested. And even if you're not interested in veganism in general, you might just want to incorporate some of the things that we talk about today into your already diet, whatever that is for you. We don't always have to be so all or nothing. So I think that you might find a few things we discussed today, like, oh, I never thought of that. Or, oh, maybe I'll add that into what I'm already doing. You don't have to just, get your vegan tattoo with a V tomorrow.
No. No matter how you're eating, just adding some more plants into it is going to be healthy as it is.
Okay, Are you ready for this? So I actually did a lot of thought for this podcast, a lot of notes that I've rewritten 3 times, and I don't normally do that, but this is really important to me. So I have 10 tips for you guys today and some bonus material. So let's get into this. The first is keep it simple. That is the first tip I give anyone when they ask me is keep it simple. Keep it simple and have fun. That's what I say. When I wanted to be vegan or vegetarian in the past, I overcomplicated it so much. I thought I had to have everything figured out right away, everything in my pantry. I had to know all the meals, and then I tried these complicated recipes, and that's just setting yourself up for failure, right? So keep it simple and have fun. There's different kinds of people. You might be the kind of person where you want to ease into changes, or you might be a person who you go all in. Just jump right in, feet first. That's me.
Me too. Yeah.
But either way, whether you ease into this or you want to jump all in, keep it simple. Do easy meals. Don't complicate it with these recipes that are like 30 ingredients, 26 if you've never heard of before. Like, don't do that to yourself. That is expensive and stressful. Remember, peanut butter and jelly is vegan. Apples are vegan. People are like, what do you eat? I'm like, have you ever had a banana? Bananas are vegan. Chips. Many chips are vegan. I will say, look at your chips, because for some reason they put whey in milk and lots of chips. So our kids love salt and vinegar chips, and some brands are vegan, some are not. There are many accidentally vegan things and things that are just naturally already vegan. I think it cracks me up that people will label things, oh, naturally vegan and gluten-free. Yeah, Susan, because it's water. Like...
It's also paleo.
Yeah, it's paleo too. Yeah, it's everything. It's all the things.
Sugar-free water.
Right? But keep it simple. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Keep it simple.
That's my number one tip.
If the meal prep is longer than 10 minutes,
Forget
I scrap it and go to something else.
Walking away from this.
My life is too busy to spend more than 10 minutes prepping a meal.
Yeah, I agree. And if let's say you're a fan of your slow cooker, then look up 5 ingredient vegan or plant-based, slow cooker meals. If all different kinds of options here. So make it work for your life how it already is. Don't try to redo your whole entire kitchen, your whole entire life going into changes like this, especially if you really are serious about becoming vegan and you're dealing with, withdrawals from addiction to dairy and things like that. You don't need to also have everything else complicated too, right?
Oh, absolutely not. Right. Yeah, because you already have to deal with the struggles of overcoming that and cravings and cold sweats and
stop it,
sleepless nights.
Now you're just making shit up. Okay, so are you ready for number 2?
Ready.
Number 2 is try all the things.
Okay.
That's my tip. So in the beginning of switching to veganism, you really do have this mindset of, I need to just find alternatives to everything I'm used to having. So try all the meat alternatives. All grocery stores now have like meat substitutes in the freezer department. They all have like a little section. Even Walmart has sections for veganism in the cold section, in the freezer section. So try all the things. What's your favorite meat alternative, by the way, right now? Or do you have one? I'm really over it at this point. I've been vegan 3 years.
I haven't been eating a whole lot of those.
I think Beyond Meat does a great job.
Yeah, Beyond Meat does really good. The Beyond Burger, it tastes almost exactly like a real burger. So if you're craving that, once in a great while, I'm craving a burger, so I'll get a Beyond Burger. And, oh man, it's great. It hits that craving, and I'm good for about 6 months. Gardein products are really good.
Gardein They're chicken strips. Yeah, the kids love those.
And they taste just like chicken nuggets. Those are dangerously good.
They are. They're really oily and yummy. So try all of and cheese alternatives. When we first went vegan, we tried all of the cheese alternatives. We still have 2 kids that hate all of them, and so just said forget it. And some of us like some. We're more actually at this point. We're more into like the almond and cashew cheese spreads. Those kind of things we like. We don't really get the vegan cheeses anymore. I will give you a few tips here. I think CHAO cheese by Field Roast is one of the best. It's creamy. It's yummy.
Yeah, I love that one.
We even cut it into strips and put it on pizza in the beginning. Follow Your Heart already comes shredded and is pretty good. I like it. Some people like Daya. I've never been a fan of Daya. Try them because everybody's tastes are going to be different. And sometimes something's good for one thing and another is good for another, the different brands. So you might want a few different ones in your fridge, but try the cashew spreads and dips. Those are really, really good.
They are.
Right. And try new things. When we first went vegan, we did lots of Buddha bowls. We did lots of Buddha bowls because that goes into tip number 1 too. Keep it simple. It's like 4 or 5 ingredients. You put it together, you put a dressing that you like. So get on Pinterest, search vegan Buddha bowls and have fun. Avocado toast was really simple. That's something we still eat regularly. So try new things that you may not have tried before, but don't forget number 1, keep it simple, right?
Always number 1.
So tip number 3 is stop trying to replace everything. At some point you realize, wait a minute, I'm not eating that stuff for a reason. So I don't have to replace everything, right? In the beginning I needed pizza. So we would do pizza without cheese, or we did pizza and tried all the cheese. And now I just don't really eat pizza a whole lot. Or if I do, it's at a restaurant that has like vegan almond ricotta. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try that.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Right. So don't or stop trying to replace everything. Have new things. Remember to keep it simple, remember to keep it fun, and try new things. For example, something that I never ate before was Thai food. We never ate Thai food, and now it's our favorite.
Oh, Thai food. I can't get enough of it.
I know, because they use coconut milk and everything. So if you're allergic to coconut, sorry. But if you're not allergic to coconut, then Thai is really easy to eat. Vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free, dairy-free, even if you're not vegan, if you're dairy-free or you're gluten-free. Thai food, but that's something that I wouldn't have tried before, and that doesn't replace anything I ate before. It's something new, simple, fun, wonderful. There's Thai restaurants everywhere. I keep saying I'm going to cook it at home, and I think that's cute. But I think that's really, really adorable of me to shut up. I know what you're going to say.
We had this running joke. Every time we'd go out and eat something, we'd go and maybe get sushi rolls or something, and we get the vegetarian sushi or vegan sushi with avocado rolls, and every single time January would say, we should make this at home. Every single time. So after a while, I'm like, I know we should make this at home.
Do you know
but
why?
We're not going to.
Okay. It is a running joke because we should make this at home.
Hey, we should make this at home.
And then now he just laughs at me. But let me just tell you real quick. The reason why is because we have been homeless and broke and hungry. And so my mind always goes into how I can save money, because I actually hate spending money going out to eat. I love it and hate it. I have a love-hate relationship for it. Like I appreciate it, and I think it's so amazing when I can. But I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, God, I could have made this at home for a lot cheaper.
Oh man.
All right. So on to tip number 4, I want to talk about drinks. Most things that you're already drinking are vegan. Even Coke is technically vegan, even though it's still poison, but that's a whole other thing. Alcoholic drinks are even vegan. And I say that hesitantly because I am now a teetotaler. I no longer drink, and I have my own reasons for that. And we have a podcast on it. You can go listen to that if you haven't heard it yet.
Episode 30.
Thank you, babe. That's why I keep you around. See, but when you're first going vegan, it's comforting, because you feel sometimes that all of a sudden you can't have all these things, instead of having a mindset of look at everything I can have, including my health. But when you can think, oh, sugar is vegan, alcohol is vegan, coffee is vegan, even Oreos are accidentally vegan. If you get on the PETA website and type in accidentally vegan foods, there's like a whole list of them. And that's comforting in the beginning, especially when you're changing your diet so much that, oh wait, there are still so many things I can have. Coffee, I've talked about this before, how it was a big thing for me when I switched to coffee. And this goes back to number 2 of trying all the things, all the milk alternatives. So I tried all the milk alternatives and found what I like in my coffee, and I like something different in my cereal maybe, or baking. So again, try all of the alternative milks. And there's like so many now, by the way.
Lots.
It's almost weird at this point to me that we even drink cow breast milk, because udder milk, I guess you call it, because there's so many alternatives that are better for our body. So try them all and then use them in your drinks, tea, all these things. Another thing too, like, is MRM. We've talked about MRM before, and I like using their hydrate factor. I like making, coffee proteins. I make, shakes, smoothies with protein in them. So when it comes to your drinks as well, not just your food, like find teas that you like. Find coffees that you like, find alternative milks that you like, and enjoy. Kombucha, sodas, Zevia, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you have anything else to add to this?
Except milk.
Yeah.
Like regular milk.
Yeah, seriously.
Which, by the way, real quick, doesn't add calcium to your bones.
It does not add calcium.
It actually leaches the calcium.
We need to do like a milk and Coke podcast or something, right? That's a whole other thing. We'll just
milk
piss
and
off
soda will give you osteoporosis.
Oh my God.
You heard it here.
Are you Don't mess with my tips podcast.
Sorry,
okay?
I just had to throw that in. Just throwing that in.
Number 5, get a good B12 supplement.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
people like, what do you do for B12? And it's like, well, Karen, this is 2018. So I take a little cherry chewable and I'm good. So there is no bad side effects, from having B12, but there are from not having enough. So you can get B12 in nutritional yeast, which we put on everything.
All B vitamins are added nutritional yeast. Lots of it.
Yeah, there's plenty of supplements, and then get a good B12, which you can talk about a little bit.
Yeah, well, with the B12, you want to get the methyl B12 because your body will absorb that completely and totally, and it's been a game changer for us because before we get regular B12 in the form of cyancobalamin, I know it's kind of a mouthful, but that's what the regular B12 is.
Show off.
And it's also nutritional yeast with all the other B vitamins.
Yeah.
But it doesn't absorb in the body properly, and so when you have the methyl B12, it does. And I noticed a big change in my sleep once we started taking the methyl B12. And
yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah, and you literally can't overdose from B12.
Right, that's what I was trying to say. You said it better.
Yeah, so the B12 we have is, I think, like 16,000% of your daily RDA. And you can take all the B12 you need. And
it's a tiny little chewable.
Yeah.
A tiny little chewable. So our youngest is 3 now, and she just today, she does this every day now, but she's like, can you give me my B12? Can I have my B12? I need another B12.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh, it really is. It's super cute. But yeah, so get a good B12. Get on Amazon, look up methyl, right? Methyl B12, and make sure it is
GMP certified.
That's right.
So that you know you're actually getting methyl B12.
Tell them what that means. I didn't know what.
Not some kind of cherry extract tablet that has no B12 in it at all.
So make sure it's vegan, gluten-free, whatever your allergies are, whatnot. Make sure it's methyl B12 and make sure that it's GMP certified. And what is GMP certification?
Good manufacturing practices. It's essentially they are certified. They are putting into their supplements what they say they are putting into it.
So it's an extra certification that you're getting what you're paying for.
Yeah, it's basically that they're saying that we are legit. We're not lying to you. We're telling the truth.
The brand that we've been using lately is the Now brand, right?
Now Foods is a pretty good supplement company that I've liked. So
okay, neat. All right, so that's your B12. Just get a B12, and then when people ask you what it is, just shove one in their mouth. Okay, so number 6. Ready?
Ready.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Yes, be prepared. And what I mean by that is you can get caught off guard really easy if you go to a family gathering, if you go out to eat at a restaurant, if you're traveling, especially when you're newly vegan, but even anytime. So what I like to do for restaurants is I look ahead at their menu. If I'm in an area, I'll Google and get on Google Maps and just see what's vegetarian and vegan friendly. You can also Google, let's say your family is going to P.F. Chang's. You can Google P.F. Chang's vegan. And we live in a great time now where somebody has written an article, or many restaurants have their own vegan or gluten-free list already made now. But you can Google the name of the restaurant, vegan, and you'll see if anything there is vegan because somebody has written an article about it, that restaurant or whatnot. When in doubt, go get Thai food.
Thai food always wins.
When I'm traveling and I can't find a place, or I don't want to be bothered with looking for a place or traveling far from my hotel or whatever it is, I just look up Thai and I go get Thai. When you're at a restaurant, just ask the questions. And people get really confused on what vegan means. They're like, oh, well, no, it only has milk and fish in it. Okay, Kevin. So what people do understand in our society is it dairy free and is it gluten free? People understand that more. Don't ask if it's vegan. Ask if it's dairy free. You know if it has meat in or not, and then ask if it's dairy free and go from there. You'll get a little bit further in restaurants because people just don't know. You know, I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
With travel, we make an itinerary for me. We started doing that. You will look up close by vegan friendly places.
Yeah, I'll find a number of places in the area you'll be in to
I pack food.
check out.
When I get to the airport, I look for juices and water, and I pack food with me. If you are going to go to family meals, I just want to say, and this is actually going to carry over into our next tip, but remember, you do you. Bring your own food if you have to. If you know your family's not going to have anything vegan, and don't be dramatic about it. Just eat before you go and then say, oh, I'm good. Just have some water or your Zevia or your coffee or whatever it is, or bring something for everyone to try or not to try, just for yourself, whatever the situation is. Don't try to change their minds either. Try to build a mutual respect in the beginning with family or friends. So you do you, let them do them. And I've noticed that the less I say, the less drama there is. I just do my thing, right?
Exactly. I will add to that. while doing you, also do some research on the various sources of protein while being vegan.
Hold on.
Oh, am I getting ahead of myself?
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, okay. Well,
you're talking about number 9.
Oh, okay. Well,
okay.
Hold on. Pause.
Pause. That's kind of funny because I just got a play pause tattoo on my shoulder. It's like a play button and a pause button that came to me in meditation, but it's healing right now. But we keep teasing because we tell the kids when everyone's being real loud, everyone pause. So now pause is even funnier because the kids think that they can come up and just push the pause button on my shoulder, especially the youngest. Pause. I pause you. Pause you. You can pause me. I'm going to go lay down for a nap.
Yeah.
All right. So pause on protein. We'll get there.
Pausing.
Okay. So let's go into number 7. I mean, I guess we could have gone out of order if I was being flexible about this, but apparently I'm not.
No, let's be very organized.
Stop it. So, well, we were talking about being prepared. So I guess.
All right.
Do you have anything else to add though to being prepared? Look things up. Google it.
We talked about that in the previous episode about when we take the kids out about
we look things up and decide first.
That is the best thing you can do when going out.
And my family's like, can you eat here? I'm like, hold on. I'll put in the name of the restaurant and vegan and I'll see, and then, and honestly,
say, no, I can't.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't make a big deal about it. Before, when I was drinking alcohol and I wasn't gluten-free, I'd be like, do they have rolls and wine? I will be fine because it's vegan, but now I'm just like, it's not a big deal. Like I went out to eat with my family the other night and this place was very not vegetarian even friendly, vegan friendly at all. And it's a wonderful Italian restaurant and I just want to spend time with my family. So I don't mind. And I ended up having some cucumber slices and I asked them for some tomato slices. Oh my God, they were so good. And I had a few olives and then I had a bowl of strawberries and some black coffee. And I just had a good time. So just don't make it a big deal, and then I came home and I made my oatmeal. It doesn't have to be a big deal. I don't feel like my whole entire non-vegan family needs to change everything to accommodate my needs. I'm doing this for me. I'm not doing this, for anyone else. So, all right. So number 7 is you do you. You do you. And you mentioned this, that, you can, we were talking about this podcast episode the other day and the things we wanted to share. And when you're doing you, that could go a few ways. The first is you can be low key about it. Just low key do you. You don't have to go and do a Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook update that you're going vegan and then on your profile on Facebook, tag all of your family and start a debate. You don't have to start sharing every single article you find. You can if you want, but when you're making changes like this, you just don't need the debates. You don't need the doubts. You don't need the frustrations, just do you. Or you might also have to hold firm in your choices, and that's okay too. And that kind of goes into boundaries. Don't worry about what others are doing. No one has to do what you're doing. So if you do you, let others do them as well. But boundaries are okay as well. You can set some boundaries like, listen, I respect you, you respect me. This is something I say all the time anyways. What I'm doing is not a judgment of what you're doing. Sometimes when we make changes that are good for us, other people get defensive and kind of go on the attack because they think that you're making a judgment on their choices and you're not. You're just doing what's best for you. So sometimes we have to remind those close to us of that, That
is kind of a weird phenomenon.
It is. But you don't have to explain yourself to people either.
No, you don't.
Lead by example. That is the best thing that you can do. That makes the most change. That's what I'm looking for. That makes the most change. If you get on your soapbox and you start telling people they're doing something wrong, especially when it comes to food, oh my gosh, their fingers are going to go in their ears and their mouths are going to open and they're going to shout back. But if you're like, look at my yummy strawberry donut. I got. It's true though. Yeah. I mean, look at this yummy meal I had and people are like, wait, you don't just eat salad? No. Do I look like I eat salad? No, I don't. I do not look like I eat salad. I look like I eat pizza dipped in ranch, vegan ranch. No, but seriously, so you do you, let others do them, lead by example, set boundaries when you have to, hold firm when you have to, but it doesn't have to be complicated or dramatic all the time. Do you know?
Absolutely.
Don't you think so?
Yeah, the drama is not necessary.
It's not necessary. It really isn't. Number 8, variations of normal. Again, one of my favorite coined terms. Even within a vegan diet, there are a lot of variations of normal. And this is where you'll find even vegans arguing with one another. And I'm like, really, y'all? Really? Because you're all mostly on the same page here, and we really the infighting, but there's infighting and everything. So just keep in mind for yourself that there are variations of normal within a vegan diet. There is definitely junk food vegan diets. Oreos are accidentally vegan. Alcohol is vegan. Sugar is vegan. White flour is vegan.
Sour Patch Kids
and Skittles are accidentally vegan. There's lots of things that are, and I'm sure that everything I just said in the last 10 seconds could cause a huge debate already within that world. But my point is there's junk food veganism.
Even a lot of the meat alternatives can be a little bit too...
There's variations of normal in there.
Yeah.
Some are a lot more plant-based and others are a lot more processed for sure. Yeah. And that's something when people are going vegan, they're like, well, isn't it just as bad for me to eat all this processed crap? Yes, but you don't have to eat that when you go vegan,
Exactly.
Then there's really, truly at the core plant-based veganism, which is you and I have really dived more into as ourselves, which we'll talk more about later. But there's juicing. Some vegans are really into juicing raw food diets. There's high raw food and high fat raw food diets and low fat raw food diets. Even within the raw foods there is gluten-free. There's some vegans who do eat eggs and still feel that they are vegan. We talked about that in the last podcast. You can go back and listen to that. So there's low fat, high fat. There's so many variations of normal. I just wanted to point that out, that again, you do you, and you be your own variation of normal within the label of veganism.
Yes, you do you, boo.
That's right.
And I do me, bee.
You always do that. You're such a dork. God, you're such a dork. Okay, number 9. This is the one that you wanted to jump right into.
All right.
Getting protein as a vegan is easy. That is my tip for number 9. People think it's so hard to get protein, and no one gave a shit about how much protein you got until you went vegan.
So I'm unpausing myself. Okay. And this is what I was saying before, is that for some reason you go vegan and everyone and their mother and their father, aunts, uncles, everyone wants to know if you are getting enough protein. They didn't care before, but you went vegan and they care a lot now. So make sure you look at the protein on everything. Mm-hmm. And when you're vegan, you can get a lot of protein. When I went vegan, first off, I was getting way too much protein and I didn't even realize it at first. So everything has some kind of protein in it.
You just let all of them know that you get your protein from unicorn farts. You get them from the end of the rainbow. You get them from tree stars. You get them from fallen angels and from demon blood. Shut them up. Where are you getting your protein? Demon blood. That's vegan. Demon blood is vegan. You just really confuse them.
Or you just screw them and say, well, I'm on a protein-free diet.
What is that? How much weight can you lose and how fast? Because our society is so consumed by losing weight.
You can lose 37.2 pounds in 10 days.
Oh God, Brandon, you better watch out because now there's going to be this protein-free diet and now we will have a protein deficiency in this country.
If you go on the protein-free diet, you'll be one of the 4 people in the United States each year that has protein deficiency. So basically that's not even a thing in Western civilization.
And this all does go back to wrongful marketing and misinformation. We are led to believe and taught that the only way to get protein is through animal protein, and that's just untrue. If you go to your pantry right now, look at your pasta and see how much protein's in your pasta. Yeah. There's tons of protein in greens, peas. Pea protein is actually my favorite. Tofu, of course. Nutritional yeast is very high in protein, and we put nooch on everything. Yes. Lentils and beans, of course. Quinoa, which is amazing.
Even rice has some.
But go look at your pasta. Start actually looking at your yogurt. Look at your things and see how much protein you get. And I will say this. There was a while where I wasn't sure if I was or not because I, was more attracted to carbs and sugar. So I used an app to track my protein to make sure I was getting enough. I wasn't deficient, but I wasn't getting as much as I needed. But that was my own choices I was making and what I was eating. But use an app to track your macros, and see how much fat, protein, and carbs you are getting, just to give you an idea because it's something new. And then you'll have more of an idea after doing it for a few days. We also use MRM's protein as well. If there's a day where I'm like, I didn't quite get enough protein, I don't really want to make a meal, we can make a quick shake Some almond milk and cinnamon.
You cannot think about it and get 50 to 75 grams of protein in a day as a vegan.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
It's not that hard, and that's plenty to survive. I think the minimum amount of protein you need to survive is something in the range of like 35 to 50 grams a day. So
right.
It's pretty easy to still survive being a vegan.
Right, it is. So tip number 9 is protein is easy to get as a vegan. Use an app to track if you need to. Start, looking at your macros in your food. And if anybody is asking you or keeps asking you, a lot of people are asking you, just deadpan face, I get my protein from unicorn farts, and walk away. Please let me know if you ever do that. That's amazing. Okay, tip number 10. Are you ready?
Ready.
Remember why you started. So there will be times, especially in the first few weeks, and especially if you're having to give up things like dairy or you're wanting to eat less sugar, things like that, where you're just going to be like, what the hell am I doing this for? I'm out with my family, I'm out with my friends, and you just want to slip into what you've ordered off the menu for the last 32 years. And it's difficult. And that's when you need to remember why you started. And this is why when I make changes for my health, I stick with them longer than when I'm trying to make changes for losing weight, because losing weight is not a long-lasting motivator for me. That's for me personally, it's an unhealthy motivator, and it's not a self-love, self-care reason. But when I make changes for my health, that is a self-love and a self-care reason, and that is a long-term motivator for me. So for me, I remember why I started, because it's my health is why I did, and why I continue to make changes even within the variations of normal of a vegan diet. Because now I juiced for a long time, which we have some podcasts on that as well. I juiced for some time for my gallbladder and got my gallbladder healthy again and did not have it removed. And now I've made other changes for other health things, and I am, lower sugar and gluten-free, and really focusing on plant-based veganism. So for me personally, I think, how is this going to make me feel if I eat it? Remember why I started. I have a really good reason to be eating this way that is for me, and for my body. Of course, you're always allowed to change your mind, you guys. If this is something that you try out and you're allowed to change your mind. There's a reason why I never put vegan in my bio on Instagram, because I don't like labels. I don't like to be put into a box, and I like the availability to have grace, give myself grace, and to change my mind. But remember your why. Get very clear about your why, so that you can remember it during those hard moments, especially if you're the only one in your family that is making these changes. And we live in a society that asks you constantly if you're getting enough protein, or if you can't get B12, or the caveman this, or whatever, that. And that's when you remind everybody that you're a damn unicorn and you got this. You do, baby.
A lot of vegans will become vegan because of humanitarian reasons as well. True. So just keep that in mind. If that's important to you, that's the reason why you became vegan. So
that's an episode we're going to do with our oldest.
Yeah.
In the coming months.
She is the expert on that. Well, actually, you and her are the expert on that.
Yeah, I don't talk about it a lot, but even if for health reasons I could eat all the animal flesh and milk and whatever, I wouldn't, because my why is bigger now. It's expanded to encompass everything. So I have a very strong why. My whys within veganism, like gluten-free and things like that, is because of my health. But my why for being vegan is now all the above, for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So.
Yeah, and you may become vegan for one reason or another, and then, as you were just saying, it expands, and now there's a bunch of different reasons why.
I'm going to tell you what, you're going to become woke, okay? You just are. Like, it's just, you see the world, you see humans, you see animals very, very differently. And you sound like you have been on the woo-woo train after a while, because you're just like, you really do see things differently than most of society. And it's a very eye-opening experience when you stick with it for quite a while.
You hear a lot about recycle this and sustainable that. If you Google vegan and carbon footprint, you'll learn what the most important thing you actually can do for the environment is. And
that's true.
It's pretty much going vegan.
That is true.
So,
and that's why when people make rude comments to me about overpopulation and resources with my family, I look at them and realize they do not even deserve a response.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I don't have to explain myself. But second of all, my family's carbon footprint is probably smaller than theirs. So there's that.
Yeah. We have a pretty small one.
You're getting us a little off track.
Sorry.
But that's okay. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. So I think the podcast with our oldest is going to be quite the
feisty one.
Yeah, I think it is.
She's a mighty feisty kid herself.
But I mean, you're a little more opinionated on it than I thought. You don't usually talk about it.
I'm just throwing some.
Usually it's her and I. Like I pass by a trailer of cows and I lose my shit, and you're like, well, it is what it is. I'm like, well, how can you say that? So it's interesting. It's cool to kind of hear you. It's sexy. Damn, you're sexy.
All right. Well, let me get that soapbox out again.
That's right. You just keep that soapbox out, baby.
Should I keep my clothes on or off?
I was about to say soapbox out, clothes off. Works for me. Okay, I have real quick some bonus resources for you guys, and this is actually kind of fun. And what I'm currently digging as far as some vegan food, and then we'll wrap up. Resources. One of my favorite cookbooks is Oshi Glows.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. A lot of her stuff is. Well, everything is dairy free, but a lot of it's gluten free too. And it just got me making some different kind of meals, and they're not hard to make.
Yeah, pretty simple.
They're simple. So it's wonderful. There's other ones too, I'm sure that you guys love, but Oshi Glows is one I love. On Instagram, the Raw Boy, he goes back and forth between raw and cooked vegan. I love his approach. He keeps it simple. He has fun, and he has a very do you philosophy, and all his stuff is in English and Spanish. If you're interested in juicing and raw, Johnny Juicer, there's no H's in his name. It's Jonny Juicer, and his dog Noah. He's always posting about juicing. And Tanny Raw, she's a mama and a grandma, and she is 80-10-10 low fat raw vegan, and she's got some great stuff too. So those are kind of my go-to when I need a little inspiration or, want to change things up or whatnot. Do you have anything to add to that, or is that good?
I do not. No, okay, those are all good.
Things
resources.
that we're currently digging. Okay, so we love almond milk. We've always loved almond milk. Mm-hmm. But in my coffee lately, I love nut pods, which I think the name is hilarious. But I love me some nut pods, okay? But nut pods.
I know you do.
God, I knew that was going to be dangerous to put on this list. Nut pods creamers. It's coconut and... Is it coconut and almond? I can't remember. But they have...
I don't remember, actually.
They're unsweetened, which is great because I'm keeping my sugar low. So... They are unsweetened, and it's coconut based, I think, but I don't have it in front of me. And they are original and French vanilla are so good in coffee, you guys, and will give you a swirl that will just make all your parts tingly. Okay. It's just amazing. And then we add stevia. I'm really big into stevia right now. That's what I put in my oatmeal. I have it stevia on the raw. And then the liquid drops for the coffee is what I have.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. It's good. It's just good. And it's Brandon Stamp approved because he's Mr. Health Science Guy.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Health Science Guy.
Oh, that was super insightful, babe. Thanks. I'm really into gluten-free certified oatmeal right now. And when I first started getting oatmeal and I started seeing like gluten-free certified oatmeal, I'm like, oh God, like it's like water, like they're labeling it gluten-free. But no, there really is cross-contamination with oatmeal in the fields. You can read up on it.
Absolutely.
So we get the Bob's Red Mill. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Gluten-free
really
oatmeal.
Good brand.
We like to put protein in it. Again, MRM's protein is really good in it.
Along with the fact that it's already high in protein as well.
Okay, that's true. Let me back that up for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oatmeal is really high in protein already.
Yeah. Now, if you want to get swole, then you add some extra protein into it.
I like to add...
Watch the gains happen.
I'll just pause for you.
Sorry.
No. It's actually quite entertaining. I'm like just getting through my points and you're actually being entertaining. So please.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm done being entertaining for now.
You're done for now being entertaining. Okay.
Continue.
Protein. I put protein, stevia, and I cook it in water, and then I put a little creamer in it, and it's really, really good. Something else that I really like right now is that peanut butter powder. I don't know what it's called. You know the powder?
Yes. What is that called?
It's like PB2 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I know people probably know what I'm talking about, but if you go buy the peanut butter in your grocery store, there's like a powder where they've pressed out all the oils and extra stuff, and you're left with just the yummy peanut flavor without as many calories, grams of fat and whatnot, but you still have protein. So I even put that in my oatmeal. But you can put it in smoothies and other things. So we're really digging that right now.
Yeah,
I'm digging quinoa right now. Because even being gluten-free, I'm not eating rice right now. So quinoa is awesome. I'm going to have some in a little bit.
And it is not a grain.
It's not a grain. I had Brandon look it up the other day. It's what?
It's a seed.
It's a seed.
Mm-hmm. It's a seed of a plant related to spinach, chard, beets.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So it really does digest differently in the body than even gluten-free grains.
Yeah.
Okay. So quinoa, I'm digging quinoa, you guys. Also digging Kite Hill products. Their yogurt is a little lower sugar than some of the other vegan yogurts, dairy-free yogurts. So Kite Hill is really good. And my newest favorite brand right now, I think, is Love Grown. Love Grown granola. They have like chocolate and they have like cranberry pecan and almond cinnamon raisin, and they're all vegan and all gluten-free. And I love them. I have just a little bit a day. And sometimes I mix it with some of that Kite Hill yogurt.
That's good.
Or even a little peanut butter, which you think is dry, but I love. So the kids also love the Love Grown cereals. They have strawberry, chocolate, infused cereals, and they're all vegan, gluten-free. But the flavor is still there, you guys. It's really, really good. Another thing the kids love is Vans waffles and pancakes. The gluten-free ones are accidentally vegan. So when we want to push the easy button, we get their blueberry waffles and their pancakes, and that's our easy button. Digging that right now. The other thing I'm digging is, I don't know how to say it. I'm going to botch it. The cassava flour. It's a flour made from the yucca plant, and that's what they use in the tortillas I bought that we like.
They taste almost like regular flour tortillas. It was crazy how good those were.
It's like cassava flour, coconut, right? And there's like a chia one and a plain one. I don't know the brand. It's like Siete, I think. I got them at Whole Foods. And they're pricey, and I've seen them for a long time, but they're expensive. I'm like, I'm not spending money on that crap. But the cheaper brown rice tortillas we got, I don't want any rice right now. So I got them, and the kids don't eat them. So they last a little bit longer that way.
They're low calorie, low fat.
They're amazing. They don't break on, like, they're amazing. Yeah. So I'm really digging that. And then Hillary is a brand in the vegan substitute section, and it's like vegan, gluten-free, plant-based, and they have a morning sausage that's super good. So that's another thing I'm digging. Cook most things in veggie broth to keep it low fat, low sugar. Coconut oil, of course, we love, but then I cook lots of stuff in veggie broth, even our tofu. I mean, all sorts of things.
Makes it good. Yeah. Cook quinoa in veggie broth. That makes it really tasty.
Yeah, instead of cooking your quinoa in water, cook it in veggie broth. And then it's already super flavorful for whatever you add it to. So I think what I'm going to do a little bit later is do quinoa. I haven't decided on what else I'm going to put in there. Maybe a little tahini and the quinoa cooked in broth, and then a little tahini and something else, maybe some veggies and the cassava tortillas, and make some burritos for us later.
That sounds pretty good.
Right? Doesn't that sound yummy?
It's got my stamp of approval.
What I did yesterday was, I'm so glad. What I did yesterday was I took quinoa and I took frozen peas and carrots that I cooked, and I mixed it together and put in a little bit of one of the light Paul Newman's dressings in it, and mixed it up and just ate it as a little meal. It was actually really, really good. So I think, so that's all things I'm digging. You can listen back to write things down, write the brands down. Oh, share what you do in our juice. So for juicing, real quick, guys, I did juicing for months, and we still do juice, but I now do veggie juice. I don't do fruit juices anymore, really. So the veggie juice that you started making has what in it?
So I use a whole bunch of organic celery and a whole cucumber, and then I'll do an orange bell pepper, maybe two.
Yeah.
If there's
the one I made today had 2 in it.
Okay, yeah. So 2 orange bell peppers, and this is for 2 people. This is a big juice.
So a whole big bunch
of bunch of celery,
a couple carrots.
3 carrots, 3 or 4 carrots actually.
Depends on the size of the carrots.
It depends on the size. We've been using some pretty big ones. So
a cucumber,
and 2
orange bell peppers, and then
sometimes I'll throw in some turmeric.
That's what I made today.
Yeah.
So I copied your juice today.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually really good. Carrots are sweet, so if you have a hard time throwing apple in it, but like I said,
it's really not that bad.
It's really not.
It's very smooth, very mild. There's none of those vegetables are very strong in flavor as it is, so it's.
And we use turmeric a lot, like on our tofu and whatnot. Turmeric's so good for your body, and it's a spice and a supplement I started using with my gallbladder issues. So juicing turmeric is a great way to get really fresh and a high amount of turmeric into your diet.
Absolutely.
So that's our veggie juice right now, you guys. Celery, carrot, cucumber, bell pepper, and turmeric. And I will say this is an all organic juice. Like bell peppers is on the Dirty Dozen list, so we do make sure that they're organic. Yeah. Once in a while, I might get cucumbers not organic if they're just too expensive or they're not available in the store. You know, I'm very much of the mindset of just do what you can. Another thing I like is lemon ginger shots. So we'll juice 2 lemons and a big thing of ginger and get that down with really sour faces.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you try and keep a straight face drinking that compared to a shot of whiskey. And I think the whiskey is easier to,
I do too, actually.
Keep down for sure.
I do too.
Man.
And then another shot I like is turmeric and carrot. So you juice a carrot, you juice a big thing of turmeric, and then you put a little bit of black pepper on it because it helps with the absorption. And there you go. So those are the 3 juices I'm doing right now is the organic veggie juice, lemon ginger shots, turmeric carrot shot with a little black pepper. So that's all of my bonus material and what I'm digging right now. Did you have anything you want to add to any of these points?
No, those are all solid points.
This is a podcast that I wish I had when I was going vegan.
Yeah, no kidding.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know I dropped MRM a lot because we love MRM. So I'm just going to put it out there that if you want to try MRM supplements, go to MRM. It's
MRM-USA.com.
Yes. And then, thank you. Another reason why I keep you around, see? And use code HARSHE, all caps, HARSHE, and they'll give you a 40% off discount on anything that you get. So it's pretty awesome.
They have lots of vegan supplements. So
I love
fantastic.
them. I love them. We're waiting on our box right now, actually.
Yeah.
I love them. Anyway, so I hope that this helps you guys out wherever you're at on your journey with your health. And until next time.
Adios.
Love ya.